Applications of linear equations. What does that mean? Linear equations, of course, are equations that, when graphed on a coordinate plane, would make a line. They also have use in real life, which is why we learn them. These, of course, are examples and not real life ones, but they'll show you how you can use these in real life. You'll do numbers 1 and 2 on your own, and I'm going to go over them at the end. I want to go through the others first and give you a chance to watch the process before we go back to 1 and 2 and I explain them. It'll mean more to you then. Let's begin. Number 3. The owner of Terry's Coffee House found that the number of orders for croissants was 1/6 of the number of orders of muffins. If the total number for the 2 breakfast rolls was 56, how many orders were placed for croissants? All right, so we've got to assign a variable. I'm going to do M for numbers of orders of muffins. Then for croissants, it says croissants, 1/6 the number of orders of muffins. So for croissants, whatever the number of muffins, it's 1/6 of that. And that's the number of orders of croissants. Now I need to find out how many of each. And the way that I'll do that is I'll add the number of muffins to the number of croissants, and that will give me the total. It's simple as that. We add these 2 types of rolls, and that gives us the total. So, how many muffins are there? Well, there's M muffins. Plus, how many croissants? That's 1/6 M. How many total? Well, we've got an exact number there, 56. There we go. Now we have an equation. The first thing I'll do is combine like terms. M plus 1/6 M, well, is 1 and 1/6 M. I will convert that to an improper fraction. There are several different ways to go about that. This is the way I'm going to do it. There are many, many other ways that you can do this. Now, as I've told you before, when you have a fraction and you just want to get rid of it, you just don't want to deal with a fraction, all you do is, whatever the number is on bottom, you multiply the fraction by that number. So I'm going to multiply it by 6. And then I'll do that to the other side because, this is algebra. The 6 now cancels out. So I have 7 wholes in M, so that becomes 7M. 7's on top, so that's how you know it's 7 wholes. Equals 56 times 6 would be 336. 6 times 50 is 300. 6 times 6 is 36. That's how I got that. Now, I'm going to isolate just the M. To do that, I divide both sides by 7. Gives me M equals 7 goes into 33 4 times because it goes into 28. 5 left over, 56. 7 goes into 56 8 times. So M is 48. Do you think I'm done? I'm done. I solved the equation. I came up with the variables. I wrote an equation. I solved the equation. I'm done. Well, no, actually not really. That's not the whole point of this. The whole point is to solve a situation. The situation is, how many orders were placed for croissants? Answer a question. Did I answer that question? M is 48. Well, what is M? M, number of orders of muffins. The question is, how many orders were placed for croissants? So I haven't answered the question yet. Aha. So I'm going to say that orders of muffins, well, that's 48. Now, croissants, that's 1/6 times M. So it would be 1/6 of 48. What's 1/6 of 48? 48 divided by 6 is 8. So, croissants, eight. The answer to my question is 8. 8 orders were placed for croissants. And if I go back and add, I have muffins plus croissants equals total. So muffins would be 48 plus 8 croissants. 48 plus 8 is 56. And it checks out, so I know I got it right. Got it? Remember, make sure you answer that question. When you finish, go back and reread the question to see if you answered it. Number 4, at the meeting of the local computer user group, each member brought 2 non-members. If a total of 27 people attended, how many were members and how many were non-members? All right, so M for members. And then since each member brought 2 non-members, there'll be twice the number. The non-members will be twice the number of members. So M for members, 2M for non-members. Because if there's 1 member, then there are 2 non-members. If there are 10 members, then there are 20 non-members. Now, to answer the question, I need to take the number of members, add the number of non-members, and that gives me the total. Now let me plug in what I have. How many members? M. How many non-members? 2M. How many total? Well, this one I know, just like the last one. I know the total. You don't always know the total, but this one we know the total. Now I have an equation. This is a simple one, actually. M plus 2M, that's 3M. 27. To isolate just the M, we'll divide both sides by 3. Then we get M equals 9. Done. Wait, are we done? Really? So what have we learned? M is 9. M is the number of members. We've learned that there are 9 members that came at the meeting. The question is, how many were members and how many were non-members? So I also need to know how many were non-members. Well, non-members is twice the number of members. So if M is 9, then 2 times M is 18. And let's see if this adds up. Members 9 plus non-members 18. 9 plus 18 equals 27. Is that correct? Yes, it checks out. So that's how we know we got it right. Since we're on this page, let's go ahead and look at numbers 1 and 2. 1 is more your classical one that you've been working on. If 5 is added to the product of 9 and a number, the result is 19 less than the number. Find the number. So you just need the one variable because you're just looking for one number. The result is, that's your equal sign. So write that, your equal sign, and then write the rest. Then you'll have an equation to solve. And your variable is n. Number 2, Olympics. We have US and Norway. We're talking about the medals that both the US and Norway won. We know that together they won a total of 44 medals. We want to know how many each country won. Well, Norway won in medals. Doesn't tell us. But it does tell us that the US won 6 more than Norway. So whatever Norway won, the US won that plus 6 more. So you're going to take the number that Norway bought, 1. You'll take the number that Norway won. You'll add the number that the US won, and you get 44. There's your equation. Combine like terms, solve. All right, we're on the second page. Let's zoom in and look at number 5. A piece of pipe is 50 inches long. It's cut into 3 pieces. The longest piece is 10 inches more than the middle-sized piece, and the shortest piece measures 5 inches less than the middle-sized piece. Find the length of the 3 pieces. So, I went ahead and wrote out, in order to label them, I wrote out the 3 pieces. We'll need to decide a label. Ultimately, we need to add the length of each piece to get the total. It says the short piece, 5 inches less than the middle piece. The long piece is 10 inches more than the middle piece. So the middle piece is going to be M for middle piece. The shortest piece measures 5 inches less than the middle piece. So the short piece is whatever the middle piece is minus 5. The long piece is 10 inches more. So it's whatever the middle piece is plus 10. Those are our labels. Now let's work on solving it. Short piece plus medium piece plus long piece is total. So let's plug in our values. The short piece is M minus 5. The medium piece is M. The long piece is M plus 10. The total is 50. See a pattern on this. They always let us know the total. All right, now we have an equation. First thing we'll do is go ahead and go through and combine all of our like terms. M, so we've got 3 M's. Negative 5 plus 10 would be plus 5, 50. There. Now that we've simplified it as much as we can, let's isolate the variable term. We subtract 5 from both sides. That cancels out. We're left with 3M equals 50 minus 5 is 45. Our next step is to isolate just the M. So we'll get rid of the times 3 by dividing by 3. That's M equals 45 divided by 3 is 15. All right, so M is 15. So what is M? M is the middle piece. The middle piece is 15 inches. The short piece is 15 minus 5. So that would make it 10 inches. The long piece is 15 plus 10. So that would make that one 25 inches. See? All right, now let's look at these. This is important. You will encounter these. Oh, you will. 2 integers that differ by 1 are called consecutive integers. Consecutive, that means 5 and 6, 8 and 9, 11 and 12, 102, 103, negative 3, negative 2. They're consecutive, they're beside each other. If you are talking about consecutive days, it's 2 days beside each other, Monday and Tuesday, Friday and Saturday. Consecutive months, January, February, March, April. They're anything that are beside each other, one after the other. If x represents an integer, then what represents the next larger consecutive integer? So if x is 5, then 6 would be next, right? Would be x plus the next one, plus 1 more. So if x is 8, x plus 1 would be 9. If x is 98, x plus 1 would be 99. So if you add whatever x is, if you want to know the number that comes next, you do x plus 1 more. You'll have equations where you have 2 consecutive integers add to 35. What are they? And then you've got to put x plus 1 equals 35. Now, sometimes they're not completely consecutive. They are consecutive even integers or consecutive odd integers. So if they're consecutive integers, they could be 2, 4, 6. If they're consecutive even integers, they could be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. If they're consecutive odd numbers, they're, 9, 11, 13, 15. So if x represents an even number, then x plus 2 represents the next larger even consecutive integer. So if x is 10, x plus 2 would give you the next one, 12. Works the same with odd. If you have 1, you add 2 to get 3. You add 2 to get 5. You add 2 to get 7. You add 2 to get to the next one. Let's finally do this. I'm going to get you started. I'm going to let you finish it, but I'll do a lot of it with you. Here's an example. We are using linear equations to help us with geometry. We want to find the remaining variable. So we have this rectangle, and we want to know the perimeter of it. We have the length, the width. In order to figure this all out, we've got to know the formula for perimeter. It's basically length plus width plus width. That's the formula for perimeter. We know that the perimeter is 126. So the whole perimeter all the way around the outside is 26. The width is 25, but we don't know the length. So we are going to use the formula perimeter equals length plus width to find out the length of, the length of the rectangle. What I do is I'm going to plug in the values I know. Perimeter, I know the perimeter is 126. 126 equals length plus length, I don't know, so I'm going to put 2L because length plus length is 2 length. Plus W is 25, so it would be 25 plus 25. Now I have an equation. First thing I want to do is combine my like terms on each side. I've got 126 equals 2 length plus 50. Now I want to isolate my variable term, so I'll subtract 50 from both sides. That would be 12, 76 equals 2L. I'm going to write that over here. 76 equals 2L. To isolate the L, I'm going to divide by 2. 76 divided by 2 is 338. I know now the length. L is length. Length is 38. See how that worked? You just use the formula. You're thinking about that for number 6. Farmer has 800 meters of fencing material to enclose a rectangular field. It's meters, it's fencing, so that's definitely perimeter. Goes around the outside. The width of the field is 50 meters less than the length. Find the dimensions of the field. So we know that the perimeter is 800 meters. Whatever the width is, it's 50 meters less than the length. So the length is L, the width is L minus 50. Now, let's write out the standard equation. Perimeter equals length plus W plus W. Perimeter, do we know the perimeter? Yes, perimeter is 800. So 800. Length. Well, length is L. So we have L plus L. Width. Okay, width is not W. Width is length minus 50. So plus length minus 50 plus length minus 50. This width is here. This one is here. All right, so I'm going to take you to the next step, and then you're on your own. The first thing you want to do is combine all your like terms on the side. So I've got 800 equals, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 positive L's, so 4L. And I've got minus 50, 4L minus 100. I've got you there. I want you to finish solving the equation. I want to make sure that you answer the full question. The answer is find the dimensions of the field. So you're going to want to say what is the length and what is the width. When you solve this, you'll solve it for L. So when you finish this, you'll know the length. But you'll still have to find out the width. The width is 50 meters less than the length. This is algebra.